The English football star helping to foster better race relations in a tiny enclave of Israel. As fast as lightning, Thailand's Olympic boxing hero back in the hunt for a repeat performance at Beijing 2008. And a look at one of the fastest growing winter sports. Welcome to Sportsworld, Al Jazeera's regular look at sport on every continent. I'm Rahul Pathak. Now, fan violence and racism remain serious problems in Israeli domestic football, with tension between Jewish and Arab supporters normally the cause. Now, while sport in Israel is often used as a means to express prejudice, there are also efforts to give football a more positive purpose. Former England player John Barnes travelled to the country to visit one team that's trying to make a difference. Andy Richardson reports.
Who's going to win this game? Israel. Israel going to win? Yeah. What's the score? 3-0.
When a former England and Liverpool footballer arrives in a small town just outside Jerusalem, it doesn't take long for word to get around. John Barnes is in Israel to give his support to a small team with big ideals. Abu Ghosh Mevaseret is the only professional mixed Jewish-Arab club in Israel. The sides from the Arab town of Abu Ghosh and its Jewish neighbour Mevaseret were merged into one united team 3 years ago. In a country where tension between Jewish and Arab supporters often results in racist chanting and violence, this is the alternative vision of what football can achieve.
We have a family atmosphere here, with no differences between the players. I'm an Arab, but I knew Oz, who's Jewish, even before we met here. We're brothers, and what hurts him hurts me. What makes him happy makes me happy as well.
Since his retirement from playing, Barnes has backed football projects in some of the world's worst areas of conflict. He's in no doubt as to the game's potential to heal.
I don't know if you remember the genocide in Rwanda in 1994 where Hutu and Tutsis were killing each other, and I went there to promote peace and reconciliation through football, and that Hutu and Tutsi kids are playing together. So I mean, if you could organize reconciliation in a region like that, you can do it anywhere.
Despite being arguably the most talented player of his generation in English football, John Barnes was still on the receiving end of considerable racist abuse throughout his career. That he prospered regardless is an example he hopes can inspire footballers in Israel.
Here we didn't have that political dynamic in England. It was just a very simple racism, whereas here it's a little bit more complicated. So while, you know, we are given the Kick It Out England campaign will lend their expertise in terms of logistically how to put it together, obviously it's going to be much more difficult and complicated to do it here.
Many of those problems have been experienced by Abbas Swan, one of the best known current Arab Israeli footballers. After scoring a crucial World Cup qualifying goal for Israel against Ireland in 2005, he became a hero to many in the country. But because Swan is an Arab, he can still be the victim of racist abuse when he plays for his club.
Footballers can be positive role models. If we're able to unite against extreme ideologies, we'll have done a good job. I personally ignore any racism on the pitch, but this is not enough. We have to try harder to stop it happening in the first place.
Sadly, the spirit in and behind Abu Ghosh Mevaseret isn't typical in Israel, and the charity backing the side are realistic about the reality elsewhere in the country.
There are communities, especially in the center of the country, especially in Tel Aviv, that for them pluralism is almost like a dirty word, and people are also bringing into the equation a lot of, you know, bringing the past, bringing the conflict. It's very difficult. So this is why sports is an immediate vehicle to create an encounter between the two parties, and I personally believe that this is a beginning.
Sport isn't capable of producing simple solutions to a country's problems, and often it can be used to compound rather than fight discrimination. But just as it is here, sport can also set an inspiring example. Andy Richardson, Al Jazeera, Israel.
A terrific story, that. Now, time to take a good look at one of the world's great sporting arenas, but not quite as we knew it. The Kensington Oval in Barbados has hosted international cricket matches for over a century, but has now undergone a major revamp ahead of staging the sport's biggest showpiece event, the World Cup final, this weekend. Al Jazeera's Guy McCree went behind the scenes to see what's new at the Grand Old Ground.
Welcome to Bridgetown, Barbados, and a place known locally to everyone here as the Mecca. But for cricket lovers worldwide, this is the Kensington Oval, a world-famous sporting landmark and home to over 110 years of international cricket history. I'm standing here in Pickwick Place, which is the brand new causeway entrance to the stadium. And it's not the only thing that's new, thanks to a $65 million revamp of the ground ahead of the 9th Cricket World Cup final. So join me now and let's take a look behind the scenes at some of the other changes. Arguably one of the most complex changes here at Kensington Oval is to the building behind me, the 3W stand, and specifically the roof, which the organisers have had to overcome a lot of problems to get ready for the World Cup final. The man who has overcome those problems, has been in charge of it, is Miles Weeks. Miles, can you take us through a bit of the timeline, a bit of the story involved in getting this stand together?
Yeah, thanks. As you said, it was one of the challenges we had. As you can see, the roof comes over the top and then encases the top 2 stories of the building. And what we were trying to do there was, one, provide shade to the suites, and secondly, not obstruct sight lines if we'd done it in a straightforward fashion. So effectively, it's 3 cones that intersect, and then the top front cone is cut through at an angle, which obviously produced a geometry that was very difficult to achieve in steel. It had to be done overseas. Steel was done in England and the cladding done in Ireland, and then brought here and fitted in. And that took a bit of a while to get it perfectly correct, that it would fit together. But ultimately we got it finished and it looks quite nice, and I think people will enjoy it.
This is the West Concourse of Kensington Oval, which will be a major area of interest to spectators coming to games. I've been joined by Terry Mayers, the Media and Communications Manager here. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Guy. Thanks for having me on, and welcome to Barbados. Glad to have you.
Thanks very, very much. I'm glad to be here, and I think spectators will be glad to be coming to games here. A lot of changes made to Kensington Oval.
It's been 2 years since we've had cricket here at Kensington Oval, and the spectators will see a brand new concourse, 35 concession stands, and we've got 4 medical facilities. Never had that before at Kensington Oval. Televisions all throughout the concourse, so even if you're not in the stands, you can still follow the cricket while you're outside, and that's brand new at Kensington Oval.
And when spectators actually get inside this fabulous stadium, Terry, what's in store for them?
A fabulous view and cricket, brand new 21st century cricket here at Kensington Oval, because before we only would have been able to get 15,000 people in here. Now with all of this seating that we've got, as you can see here, we've got 27,000 seats to fill. And in this stand where we are, the Greenwich and Haynes stand, this is the biggest single seating stand. 4,500 people can fit into this stand. And this is the people stand. This used to be the old Kensington stand. This is where the people want to be. Sure. So we've made sure that the most of the seating has been put back right here.
And you're talking about stands. It's interesting over there. A lot of blue seating.
Yep, a lot of blue.
And it looks very temporary in nature.
It is temporary, very secure and very safe. Let me add that part. But it's part of the overlay strictly for Cricket World Cup. It's called the Cricket World Cup North and South stand. In between that is the party stand, and altogether that's 16,500 people. That's more than half of the capacity for the stadium for the Cricket World Cup. But after that, everyone's going to be back here in Greenwich and Haynes like in the old days, having a lot of fun.
Now, Terry, another big area of change here at Kensington Oval is the media centre and the facilities that members of the working media across the world are going to get to work with here.
And I'm told it's one of the best in the world so far, so I'm very proud about that. But here in this media center, we can do a lot of things that we couldn't do before. Everything is self-contained in one building on 5 floors. So we've got the bottom floor, which is the broadcast control room. The TV guys will occupy there. Here where we are is perhaps the biggest and most significant change. This is the broadcast, the media working area and their lounge. So guys can come in here on mornings, get their briefings, get some coffee, and chat before they go upstairs to the Tribune, which is on the floor above us. And between the Tribune in here and our overflow facility, we can accommodate by the final 400 people quite comfortably working physically here.
One of the key areas involved in any cricket match, of course, and especially so for a game of the magnitude of a Cricket World Cup final, is the pitch. And the man who's put it all together is Leonard Yearwood. He joins me now. Leonard, talk us through a little bit of what's been involved in preparing for this World Cup final pitch.
Well, finally when we start repair, we prepare about 5-6 weeks. And that'll be green like this here. green like this here. And we roll wet and roll and wet and roll and wet, and it's green. And eventually you get the grass like this one here, peeping up. So after that, then we keep rolling, and it comes like this one is the pitch for the finals.
This is the pitch for the Cricket World Cup final.
But the thing is, the green grass is up on the here. That's where the bowlers get the bumps from the ball. And when it properly rolled and bound together, it gives you some fine little cracks like these here. But the cracks don't matter, quite hard.
Is it a good surface, do you think?
Surface would be very hard and tight. The more would be very tight. The surface would be good. But this pitch is definitely prepared for one-day cricket.
And turning around away from us now, looking at the playing area, a lot of changes here as well that you've been involved with. Make changes for you as a groundsman. Seems to be a change to the whole playing area. Do you want to talk us through how it's got bigger?
Yep, it's a lot bigger. Once before the west, the north and the south was short, and the east and the west was long. So all the boundaries now is the same width.
So there are all the changes to this historic venue, and when the capacity crowd pack in for the Cricket World Cup final this Saturday, many more across the world will surely wish they were here. Guy McCree, Al Jazeera at Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados.
Wow, really getting in behind the scenes. Guy McCree there. We'll be back with more Sportsworld after the break. You're watching Al Jazeera.